But I want you to, no, I don't want you to. I'm just giving this as advice. If you want to make an empowered decision, make a decision from a place of proactiveness. And that means mapping out your vision. What do you want your life to look like in 5 years? What do you want it to look like in 10 years? And what does your ideal future look like anyway? Because if you don't know where you're going, how in the world are you going to make decisions that are moving you towards that goal? You need to know where you're going. You need some type of like GPS. You know, you need some type of like Google Maps to tell you where you're going to go. Because if you have your vision, you can reverse engineer. You can say, okay, this is my goal. Then what do I need to do today, this month, this year, in order for me to achieve that vision that I have for myself? If you want to be like CEO of some big ass company, go ahead. But what do you need to do today to get there? If you want to make $1 million, you want to be a millionaire, great. You know, go for it. But what do you need to do today to get there? If you want to buy a house soon, because you're like me, you're like 30, and you know, you feel the need, you feel the vibe to get settled, and you want to buy a house, but you don't have enough money. What do you need to do today to get there? And notice how I don't say how, the word how, because I talk about this all the time on my channel, you guys. You guys know that I don't like to ask how questions. How am I going to get there? How am I going to get this job? How am I going to become a manager? Because the word how is too big. Always think in terms of what. What can I do? What book do I have to read? What person do I have to talk to? You know, it just breaks down those huge goals you have for yourself. Map out your vision so that you can make empowered decisions, okay? Then another big part of making empowered decisions, let me take a sip of water, is to define your values and your beliefs. What do you believe to be true about yourself? And what do you believe to be true about work, money, relationships, and opportunities and stuff like that in life? Because the beliefs that you hold true for yourself in certain areas of your life is how you show up in the world. If you believe you're not good enough, you'll act like you're not good enough. If you believe that you're not worth it, then you're going to be showing up shy and you'll be playing small all the time. I used to believe that my social economic status determined my success and happiness in life. So that meant that I was applying for jobs that heightened my status, for example. So in my head, if I got a job with a higher title at this like huge corporate company, that meant that I'll be happier and I'll have more success, right? So the higher paying job, the higher title was always better for me. That was just the belief I had for myself. And it's really weird to talk about that now because I've changed my belief system so much over the past 2 years. I think that just saying this, it doesn't make me feel ashamed of myself because I don't want to live in a place of shame. That's not a good way to live. That's a very low frequency to be at. But I do look back on those times and like, oh man, I was so ignorant back then. I had no idea. And I really had to discover for myself, and I think that you can benefit from this too, is that no belief that you have in life is right or wrong, okay? It's just a story that you tell yourself over and over again, and that story has been put into your head. You've been conditioned to think a certain way, and you've been conditioned by your parents, your upbringing, your culture, your religion. The media plays a big, huge role in conditioning as well. So you've been made to believe certain things in your life, and it takes a lot of strength and a lot of patience to take a step back and to look at your belief system and to say, okay, this belief is no longer serving me. That's not how I want to see the world. Because if I see the world this way, if I truly believe this, then that means I show up that way, and that showing up is not serving me at all. So in my example, my personal example, sure, I would have really high paying jobs at really large corporate international companies, and I'd feel good for a while, but deep down inside, it just didn't feel aligned with me. I wasn't doing things for myself or for my own purpose. I was doing things because in my head, it would add to my happiness and my status, etc. So if you can define your own belief system and your values, you can make empowered decisions, because you know consciously what you want to achieve and what you believe to be true for yourself. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. That's all I can say. And sometimes these limiting beliefs, they still pop up into my life. And I'm sure that at every stage of my life, I'm going to have some type of limiting belief. But the power really lies in being aware of these limiting beliefs and knowing what to do to unlearn them and update them so that you can update your life as well. And beliefs play a big role in conscious decision making, I feel. So definitely something to think about. If you want to dive into this deeper, I have a webinar, not specifically on this topic, but more about having a positive outlook on life and trying to find your purpose. But I also cover belief system and how to uncover that in your own head. So if you want to watch that, you can go to my Instagram page and then click on the link in bio, and you'll see a sign up link for the webinar. It's every Thursday and Saturday, I believe. I don't even know when I'm hosting webinars. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not on top of it today. But yeah, just go have a look if you want to uncover those belief systems inside of your head. And the last step, I feel, to making empowered decisions is to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. I have nothing else to say. Growth is fucking uncomfortable. I mean, let me know if you have any other experience with growth, but every time I leveled up in my life, I just felt like a chicken running around without its head. I had no idea what I was doing. It's scary. It's uncertain. It feels like the ground is just gone beneath you, and yeah, you're just there, trying to make the best of it. And in my experience, it also never gets easier. I mean, growth is just the way it is. It's uncertain and it's scary. It never gets any easier. It does. Okay, no. Let me rephrase that. It does get easier because at some point you embrace it. You become okay with it. You become okay with not knowing. And that for me mostly had to do with confidence and self-awareness. Because once I was able to trust myself, I was able to trust life, and I was able to surrender. Like, okay, you know what? I just know I'm not going to know anything. I'm okay with that. I know myself. I know what I'm capable of. I know where my talents are. I know what my skills are. I have a great support system around me. I have great friends. I have great family. I choose to have great relationships with these friends and family members. That's why I don't have a lot of friends, because I can't keep up with everyone. I consciously choose to invest my time in certain people so that I know I have a great support system. And yeah, universe, just take it from there. That's kind of my attitude nowadays. And it's really fun too, because you can't plan out everything in your head, even though you want to. You can't plan out everything in your head. So yeah, maybe if you leave this job because it sucks balls, and then you get a new job and you discover after half a year that maybe your other sucky job wasn't as bad as you as you thought it was. Yeah, well, so what? You know? So what? You now know that the other job wasn't as bad. So you go ahead and you find a new one. You find a new career path and you just keep going. You know? It's also an attitude adjustment. If you feel that you're failing, if you don't have the perfect job right now, then you're actually limiting yourself, because you're not failing. You're never failing in life. You're just learning. Okay, so your job sucked. You got a new job. It sucked even more. Okay, well, check. I now know that this type of company with these types of people don't fit my situation, don't fit my personality, and it's not the right fit for me. Okay, great. What's next? Let's go. What else can I do? What other job can I apply to? And manage your expectations for yourself, right? I mean, are you choosing a job right now because you want money, or are you choosing a job because you really want to excel in some type of skill? Yeah, just be aware of the decisions that you're making right now. So yeah, no, there's no failing in life. It's just learning. And that's what job hopping is good for. You know, learning really quickly what you do and what you don't want. Yeah, I speak from personal experience again. I mean, I had a job about 1.5 years ago. I left, I think. And then I went to another company that sucked even more. I thought I had it bad, but oh my goodness, it became even worse. It was just the worst job I could have possibly applied for. And I was so much in a hurry to leave that other job that I got this new one that sucked even more. I was in such a hurry to leave. And at the last job I ever had, I only stayed about 4.5 months. Oh gosh, it's a really short time. But I was there in the first week and I was just like, nope, this ain't it. Like, I totally misjudged the situation. This is not the way I want to work. I worked at a government institution, and I came from a very corporate commercial background. And so going into that government position was just like a change of worlds, you know, where with commercial corporates, you are really focused on making more money and making mistakes really quickly so that you can grow, more money. Whereas the government is just like doing everything perfectly, and everyone has to look at your work because, you know, you're responsible for a lot of things in the government. You're responsible for the country, basically. So you can't just make decisions for yourself. Other people have to judge your decision making and stuff like that. So it's a whole different way of working, and I truly misjudged the situation, and that situation was not something I was comfortable with, because I like fast-paced work, right? I like to make decisions and go and do something different every day, and that just wasn't possible at the government. So yeah, you know, you can make mistakes. That's totally fine. I mean, you're not gonna, you know, nothing bad is going to come out of it. Okay, sure, I had 4.5 months of stress and just backaches and headaches, but I also now know what was not working for me, and I also gained a lot of experience, and I met some really great people there as well that I still keep in touch with today, that just really inspire me, and they taught me so much. So yeah, I mean, even though it was really bad, I also had some really good things come out of it. So there's no mistakes, really. There's no failing in life. It's just learning and growing. So if you make decisions with that mindset, your life is going to change so much. Your perspective is going to change so much. It'll also make you feel less afraid. It's nothing can go wrong anyway. So, you know, just go for it. And if you do need some type of certainty, because that's just how our brains work, right? We kind of need to know that something is working before we take the step. So if you do need that type of certainty, then, you know, talk to people who have had similar experiences. You know, go read books by famous people who've overcome some of like the biggest hurdles. Read books of athletes, or like read Steve Jobs' biography. I don't know. Find that certainty in other areas of life, and maybe you can share your uncertainty with loved ones because they're the ones who will give you mental and emotional support. You know, maybe just someone telling you like, hey, I'll be there for you if it all goes down, you know, is enough for you to take that step. Maybe it's your partner who will say, hey, listen, you know, I got your back financially if this is not going to turn out the way you want it to turn out. I mean, just having that support can also be really valuable. So express your uncertainty. It's okay to talk things over with other people. I know I didn't for a really long time because I felt that if I shared my uncertainty, then I would be considered weak. And girl, I am not weak, okay? But it's taken me a long time to realize that, you know, sharing, yeah, your thoughts and emotions is actually really good. And there's people that always have your back. Like me, I always have your back. You can talk to me, you know, just like, I don't know, bounce your ideas off of my head and we can talk about it together. And one tip that I got from my coach that has really helped me as well is to write down a list of 25 to 50 things that you've already accomplished in this life. And when you write down this list, oh my gosh, for me, like the first 5 I can name right off the bat, like, okay, these are the things that I've accomplished in my life. But then you have to get to like number 20, 30, 40, 50. You really have to dig deep to find 50 things that you've accomplished in your life. But once you have this list, and once I looked at it, I was like, damn, I mean, I did a lot of things for 30 years old. You know, seeing that on paper, reading it, being able to read it on days where I feel like absolute shit makes me feel good. It just reading that is like, wow, you know, I did a lot of good stuff. So if I can accomplish this and that, if I can accomplish these 50 things in life, then why am I so worried, right? I will always fall on my feet. I will, what's that saying in English? We have that saying in Dutch where if you fall, like you're a cat, you always land on your feet, right? You know what I'm saying, you know what I mean? You can basically do anything in life if you know what you've accomplished already. So write that down, celebrate your wins, right? Be your own freaking cheerleader, because you got it.